Hello! Welcome back to Today from Yesterday. Today I was going to do an episode on the conflict in Syria and the history behind it, but I spontaneously adopted a dog. And the Syria conflict is really complex. So without the time to give that episode the attention it needs, I decided to cover a real-life government conspiracy. Like, this thing is big. I'm talking bribery, blackmail, back alley deals, kidnappings. I'm talking about Project MKUltra, otherwise known as the CIA Mind Control Project. This isn't some crazy theory that's been pieced together by tiny little hints. These are official, declassified US documents that detail everything that happened. So this Project MKUltra, this CIA Mind Control Project, it was designed to do exactly that. Find a way to control human behavior. Project MKUltra began in the 1950s and ended abruptly in 1973. But for right now, in the 1950s, the science of psychology was new and burgeoning. This was the Cold War, a new age of information and spies and scientific advancement. The potential of psychology seemed infinite, and the ability to control people was a power too tempting to ignore. One particular document, created in 1955, details exactly what Project MKUltra was hoping to accomplish. There are 17 in all, but I'm just going to go over a few of my favorites. A substance that will cause a victim to age quicker or slower in maturity. A substance to increase perception. Something that could cause temporary or permanent brain damage or memory loss. Something to aid in the resistance of brainwashing and torture. A substance that would confuse an individual so much so that any kind of fabrication would be near impossible. So like a truth serum. A knockout pill that could be delivered in food or drink that would leave the victim with amnesia. So like roofies. Weird how roofies came out in the 1950s as well. And the name for roofies is Rohypnol. Hypno. There's no evidence to support that the CIA created Rohypnol, but... And finally, a substance that could make someone more dependent on another. The hope was to create a substance that could give CIA agents an edge over their competition and a means to extract information quicker. And LSD would be the substance that would dominate the CIA's attention. The CIA first administered LSD to prisoners, mental health patients, and prostitutes in order to discover its effects, often without knowledge or consent. The CIA would then later administer LSD to American citizens, CIA employees, and military personnel, often without consent or knowledge. In one case, the CIA actually used prostitutes to lure suspected communist sympathizers from within the military and the CIA into interrogation rooms built in warehouses, and then administered LSD and then interrogated. The CIA was trying to figure out what drugs could bring out deep secrets and wipe a person's memory clean, and LSD was providing results. I mean, this was some seriously dark stuff here. But LSD proved to be an inconsistent mind control device. However, it never failed to cause the victim to trip serious balls. From this came the idea to secretly administer this drug to enemy world leaders just before important meetings or speeches in order to discredit them. So now the CIA has to test methods on delivery and detection. And so they begin secretly giving doses to CIA employees. During this period, surprise LSD druggings became commonplace in the offices. One drugged employee ran out of the office building in DC, running from monsters he saw. Another victim, Dr. Olson, flung himself out of the 13-story window because he never recovered from his surprise drug trip. What is possibly the most disturbing fact is that a majority of these documents were destroyed, which means we really don't know how far this experimentation went. The project ended abruptly in 1973 when the Watergate scandal broke. The CIA was fearful of an information mining rush, and so then CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all documentation on Project MKUltra destroyed. What we do know comes from what was luckily misfiled paperwork, some 20,000 documents on the project. But if that many documents slipped through, one can only imagine how many were destroyed. In order for the CIA to do its job effectively, it needs to operate with a degree of opacity, which means they ask the American people to put a lot of trust in them. Project MKUltra was a violation of that trust to an extreme degree. The goal was to find a more effective way to extract information from enemy agents and to disrupt enemy world leaders. What actually happened was the immoral experimentation on American people by its government. The kicker is that Project MKUltra began a few years after the Nuremberg Code, a code that specifically forbids non-consent in human experimentation. A code created by the US government in order to judge Nazi scientists in their inhumane experimentation. Dark periods of any history need to be explored. The flawed logic needs to be analyzed in order for us not to repeat these same mistakes. Thank you for watching Today from Yesterday Conspiracy Edition. I hope you like what you saw. If you did, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Next week, I will cover the history of the conflict in Syria. I got a puppy. I'm sorry, I got distracted. So yeah, make sure to tune in for that. I'll see you then.